Tears of the Kingdom is only 2 weeks away. We are only 2 weeks away from getting to play the game we have been waiting 6 years for. The main question with Tears of the Kingdom is whether or not it will be its predecessor, Breath of the Wild, at launch. Will Tears of the Kingdom surpass Breath of the Wild? Well, let's talk about that. The Nintendo Switch came out March 3rd, 2017, with Breath of the Wild being the launch title for the new handheld console. Breath of the Wild was originally made for the Wii U, so it was not only for the Switch. People also bought copies for the Wii U. Breath of the Wild sold 925,000 units on the new Nintendo Switch in the month of March, while the Wii U sold 460,000 units. Breath of the Wild was not originally for the Nintendo Switch. It was not even made for the Nintendo Switch. It was originally called Zelda U. When it finally got its name, Breath of the Wild, they decided to port it over to the Nintendo Switch, which was their new console at the time. So Breath of the Wild was not originally made for the Nintendo Switch. It was actually made for the Wii U. So the quality didn't change from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch. Tears of the Kingdom, however, is made for the Nintendo Switch and will not be a launch title, but it will possibly be the last major line title for this generation of Nintendo Switches. We have no idea if we're going to get a Switch Pro. There have been leaks leading up to a new console for Nintendo. We have no idea what it's going to be. We like to call it the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro, but they have not announced anything yet. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is being made for the Nintendo Switch, and the graphics, the art, and the quality cannot possibly change because we are still on the same generation console. They can't change, but they can be improved. Since Breath of the Wild was made for the Wii U, Tears of the Kingdom won't have that same transition. They won't go from the Wii U to the Switch. Tears of the Kingdom is made for the Switch, not made for the Wii U. So a lot of improvement can occur in this video game. Tears of the Kingdom can have so much more improvement from its predecessor, Breath of the Wild, considering it was made for the Nintendo Switch rather than the Wii U. Breath of the Wild was made for the Wii U, so the performance wasn't the best since the Wii U was already at its time. And then they said, let's bring out the Switch. Breath of the Wild will be a successor on there, and they were right. So looking at Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, one major difference is one was ported from the Wii U to the Switch as a launch title, and Tears of the Kingdom will be made for the Nintendo Switch rather than ported from the Wii U to the Switch. Breath of the Wild story was not the best. We all have mixed opinions on this. Personally, for me, I did not enjoy it as much as other Legend of Zelda stories. I like to experience stories first at hand. I want to have an interaction with the characters, and I want it to all happen in front of me. In Breath of the Wild, it wasn't like that. You would collect memories to either get the good ending or the regular ending. You collect all 12 memories to get the final good ending, and you wouldn't collect them to get the regular ending. But the memories were not really part of anything. They just told you what happened in the past. It's telling you what happened before Link went on his 100-year nap. So the story in Breath of the Wild was not the best. It was just you collecting memories, you seeing what happened in the past, and then you just beat the calamity that is in your time right now. But Tears of the Kingdom seems like it's going to be interactive. It seems like you're going to be playing the story as the game is going on. That is what you want out of a story. The story is what makes a really good game enjoyable, not only for the gameplay, but for the plot. The plot changes everything. You want to know what the story is like. You want to know the rest of the story by just seeing a little bit of it. And that's what the final trailer for Tears of the Kingdom did. We saw a lot of new characters. We saw a lot of returning characters. And that hyped us all up. It seems like it's actually going to be a full-fledged out story with no memories, no past recollections that you need to collect across the world of Hyrule just to get a better ending. It seems like you're actually going to be playing the story as we play the game, which changes everything because you want a story that hooks you, that gets you into it, so you keep playing. Breath of the Wild was a good game, but the story was really not it. Breath of the Wild was more of a test for the upcoming sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild was more gameplay rather than story. You had an open world, you can do whatever you want. Story, it was just there. It felt like it was just there. I guess a lot of people really do like this story. This is just my opinion. I hope this doesn't offend anybody. This is just what I think of Breath of the Wild story. It's not a bad story, but the way you do it, I did not enjoy. It was not something I enjoyed. Hopefully Tears of the Kingdom will have an interactive story where you're fighting with the characters that we see in the trailer. We see Sidon, Riju, and Tulin. That's what makes me believe that we're going to be fighting as the game is going on with the story. We want a game where the story hooks us, where we're playing the story, not just recollecting memories. It doesn't feel right. It changes the whole purpose of an interactive story with characters and with gameplay. Tears of the Kingdom will have a better story than Breath of the Wild, which will change a lot from a lot of people's point of views. Tears of the Kingdom will have a better story, better gameplay. It will do much better than Breath of the Wild when it comes to new and more. Because the story for Breath of the Wild, it wasn't enough. A big difference between these two titles is the price point. Yes, Breath of the Wild was a launch title, but of course it was sold separately. It was sold for $59.99. While on the other hand, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be $69.99, rounding up to $70. One is $70 and one is $60. This sparked something in the community when we first got the reveal for the price for Tears of the Kingdom. Many people were outraged. They were mad because they didn't want to spend $70 on a video game that's for an old gen console. This console has been out for 6 years. The Nintendo Switch has not gotten an actual upgrade ever since it's been made. We have not gotten an actual upgrade. We got the OLED, which just gives a bigger screen. So a lot of people were outraged when they heard that Tears of the Kingdom will be $70 compared to Breath of the Wild $60. But we gotta remember, Tears of the Kingdom is a bigger game than Breath of the Wild. Will have a better story, and we've been waiting for this game for 6 years. There's no way it can be anything less compared to Breath of the Wild. There has to be more in Tears of the Kingdom than we've ever seen in any Legend of Zelda game. After seeing these trailers, we can say that Tears of the Kingdom will be bigger and better than Breath of the Wild. But before these trailers, a lot of people were uncertain. They were just saying it was a $70 DLC. It was just an add-on to Breath of the Wild. But after seeing all these trailers, there's no possibility you can say Tears of the Kingdom is just an add-on or a $70 DLC. No, because this game is completely different from Breath of the Wild. Better story, bigger world, better gameplay elements. So much has changed throughout this game that we haven't seen ever. And Breath of the Wild, again, it was just a test for how this new system of Legend of Zelda is going to go. The open world aspect in a Legend of Zelda game was crazy before we even seen it. Everybody thought it was a crazy thing. But then once we got it, we were shocked how well it worked. It was so fun to play. But a lot of people assumed that the story would not work because of how open world this game was. And they were partially right. The open world aspect changes the whole story mode. It doesn't make it the same anymore. But in Tears of the Kingdom, in order to make a good story, they had to spend a lot of time making this game. A lot of those 6 years had a lot of time spending making the story for Tears of the Kingdom because they knew they had to improve from Breath of the Wild. The story was so minimal when it came to interaction and the characters. It didn't feel right, and in Tears of the Kingdom, they're changing it. They're making it better. That's why Tears of the Kingdom is $70 compared to Breath of the Wild $60. Game's bigger, better story. Put a lot of time into it. 6 years to build off of one of their best games ever made. They're building off of Breath of the Wild. They're not adding to it. They're adding even more. They're not adding little... You can't add a Sky Island to a game and just call it a DLC. A Sky Island changes a lot, but that's not the only thing we're getting. We're getting a lot more than what we think. And to go into this game blind is probably the best thing we can have. You're going to be so surprised when you go into this game and it's massively different from the Wild. It's going to be so much better. It's going to surpass Breath of the Wild. It will be a little bit hard to, because it is $70 and Breath of the Wild was a launch title. So it might be a little bit hard, but I do believe that this game will surpass Breath of the Wild. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you think Breath of the Wild will be surpassed by Tears of the Kingdom, and how excited you are for Tears of the Kingdom, because this game is only 2 weeks away. Can't wait for this game. It's been so long. I can't believe we're only 2 weeks away. Yeah, just let me know what you think. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you think Breath of the Wild will be surpassed by Tears of the Kingdom, and how excited you are for Tears of the Kingdom, because this game is only 2 weeks away. Can't wait for this game. It's been so long. I can't believe we're only 2 weeks away. Yeah, just let me know what you think. As always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Link! You must find me.